What's up everyone, Technic here. In today's video I'll be teaching you how to record gameplay or pretty much anything from your PS Vita. And this will work on a PS Vita 1000, a PS Vita 2000, and a PSTV or a PS Vita TV depending on what part of the world you live in. So for the PS Vita method, all you need is a PS Vita 1000 or a PS Vita 2000, and they either one have to be on custom firmware. I do recommend permanent custom firmware for this, but you can also do this with a temporary custom firmware, but you also have the minor annoyance of activating your custom firmware every single time to actually do this. But if it's not really an inconvenience for you, then yes, you can also do this on temporary custom firmware. And if you don't know what temporary custom firmware is for PS Vita, go ahead and check in my videos. I actually have a playlist on how to hack your PS Vita, how to downgrade and everything. But your PS Vita will need to be on a custom firmware. The second thing that you do need is, and this is kind of it might sound silly, but this is actually important. So you obviously need the USB cables from your chargers for the PS Vita, but most importantly, and this is especially for the slim model, because you may not have the correct USB cord, and in some cases it could be for the 1000 too. So the main thing is about the charging cord is you have to also make sure that it is a data transfer cable too. And yes, there is a difference. There's a difference between a charging USB cord that's only for charging, and there's a USB cord that is for data transfer and charging, because it's not just data transfer, it's going to charge your device too. So it would at any point in time when you're doing this tutorial and it doesn't work, this may be the issue for you. You may not have a data transfer cable, and it happens. Like, people sometimes just sell charging cords, and if you just buy the charging cord, then that's it. You just bought a charging cord. You didn't buy a data transfer cable. So after all that, let's go ahead and go back to the computer, because there are some programs you have to install, and there are also some things you have to get for your PS Vita too. So let's go ahead and move on to the computer. Now that we're back onto our computer, there's two things you're going to want to download. The first thing is Auto Plugin 2. If you have Auto Plugin 1, just the regular Auto Plugin 1 is outdated. You have to download Auto Plugin 2, and this is also the latest version of Auto Plugin 2. So the actual thing that you're downloading is the Auto Plugin VPK, where the assets are. So you don't have to download the other two files under it. It's just going to be the Auto Plugin 2 VPK. And the second thing that you're going to want to download is OBS, or any video recording software really. If anything, I recommend OBS because it's just easy to use. It's available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, and it's probably the easiest broadcast software that I've ever used. It can be used for video recording and streaming. So for future use, I would definitely download it. Download the installer. I already have it installed on my PS Vita, but for the sake of tutorial purposes, I'm going to go ahead and show you. So go ahead and go directly into Vita Shell. And press start. And you don't really have to go into the UX0 yet, but I'm just going there because the app that we're going to be putting on our PS Vita is going to come into the UX0, or in some cases the UMA0. But for this purpose, whatever your storage directory is, that's where it's going to go to. So go ahead and press the select button to put it in either USB mode or FTP mode, depending on what you're using. And then we're going to go back over to our computer, but we're also going to connect this PS Vita to our computer. So now that your PS Vita is connected to the PC, go ahead and drag and drop the auto plugin 2 file. I'm not going to do it because I already have it installed. And then the second thing you're going to do is install
depending on what your file directory is.
To install it.
You should see auto plugin 2
and now we're going
VPK
to
right here.
move back over to
And
the PS Vita.
since I have a Japanese PS Vita, it's going to be circle for me. But if you have an American one, mostly any other region, and it should be the X button. So go ahead and press the circle button to install, and it'll say, do you want to install this package? Say yes, and then it's going to ask you again, and just go ahead and press yes again. I'm not going to install it because I actually already have the auto plugin 2. And what I do recommend whenever you install VPK, just for safety purposes, go ahead and press the start button and go ahead and reboot your system. So once you rebooted your PS Vita and it turns on again, go ahead and find your auto plugin VPK. It looks like this little application with the puzzle pieces on it, and then go ahead and go into it. Since you're running on the latest auto plugin 2, it shouldn't prompt you for there to be an update. So if it doesn't prompt you to be an update, you're free to continue. So go ahead and go to Vita plugins and go to install plugins, and you're going to be finding a plugin called, it begins with a U. I keep on forgetting the name of it, but I'll find it. There we go. So UDC CD UVC. Now notice it says LCD and OLED. So for these two PS Vitas, there's a specific one for a specific PS Vita. So the LCD one would be a 2000 model. This is a 2000 model, so I'll be downloading the 2000 model. For the UDCD UVC OLED, that is the 1000 model, so I will not be downloading that one. Since this is a 2000 model, I'm going to be installing the LCD plugin. And then go ahead and press the circle or X button depending on your region PS Vita. It's circle for me because this is a Japanese PS Vita. I just installed it. So now I'm going to go to return to menu, press the back button again, and then I'm going to go to exit. It's going to say your PS Vita will restart because you just installed a plugin. So go ahead and let it restart. So the most important step that you're going to do before you actually start recording is plug in your PS Vita. Plug in your PS Vita. That is the first step, and the first step that you should do every single time. After you plugged in your PS Vita, go ahead and open up OBS. What you're seeing right now is actually the PSTV, but if I were to go to PS Vita, it actually pops up already. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and take it off for now, just so I can show you like a fresh setup. So what you're going to want to do is come down here to the scene section, and then press the plus button. And you can name it anything. I'm just going to name it PSV. Press OK. After you press OK, you're going to see this next little menu right here called Sources. Then you're going to press the plus button or the add button. In most cases, your PS Vita is going to pop up as a video capture device. In some cases, however, it's going to pop up as game capture. But I don't think it's going to pop up as game capture in this sense. So go ahead and click on video capture device. And I'm just going to leave it as is. You can name it whatever you want though. And then press OK. Over here, like I said, it's showing the PSTV through the capture card right now, but if I were to go to PS Vita, which it should pop up with the same name for you, your PS Vita is going to pop up. At this point, you can pretty much stretch out the screen and pretty much edit it however you want. I recommend just right-clicking the screen and then go to transform and then edit transform. And I believe this is I think this is the y-axis. Yeah, that is. Okay. So if I go over here, I can kind of just keep on, editing it until it's full screen pretty much. Oh, sorry, not this one. That's the position. This one would be it right here, the size. So as soon as you add to the size, boom, it's full screen now. but pretty much anything that you do on your PS Vita screen, whether you go into Vita Show, whether you play a game, it's all going to be added. And then at that point, you can just go to start recording and all that other stuff. I also forgot that I just went into freaking Vita Show, or I just went into Vita Show, so I don't think it's actually going to pop up for that one, which is weird. Let me see if I go to properties. Yeah, there it is. It doesn't usually do that though. That's the funny part. So if I go to Vita Shell again. Yeah, okay, there you go. I don't know what just happened on that one. I think I accidentally moved my USB cord, which is what I think honestly would happen. So yeah, whatever you do on the PS Vita screen, it's gonna pop up for you. Yeah, pretty cool though. But again, the only con to this is you don't really get any audio output, so that's bad. But at the same time, if you're just doing a tutorial video, then you really don't have to do that. You can just pretty much, put some background music on it, like I'm probably going to do for this video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're going to move over to the PSTV method. Before I actually do move on to the PSTV method, I just want to throw out some quick troubleshooting steps if it ends up like not working. So first off, if your PS Vita is not displaying anything, the first thing you definitely want to check, especially if you were able to move the auto plug into VPK over to your PS Vita, and your PS Vita just pops up and shows all the files just fine, then you're good. But if your PS Vita is not showing, and this is specifically talking to the laptop users, if your laptop has a camera on it, that could be the issue. So your laptop's camera could be conflicting with the PS Vita, because the PS Vita is now a video capture device. So you're most likely going to have to disable the camera or your onboard camera inside of your laptop. So what you're going to do is go into your Windows start menu, but you're going to right click that Windows button, and you're going to go to Device Manager. In Device Manager, you can see cameras right here, and if I were to click on camera, I have PS Vita because I'm on my PC, and technically the PS Vita is the only video capture device right now. But if I were to plug in my webcam, then my webcam will pop up too. So not for your PS Vita, but for your webcam, you're going to want to right click your webcam, and then you're going to go to disable device. After you're done streaming, you can enable device again, so your laptop's camera will work again. But as soon as you disable that laptop's onboard camera, your PS Vita should work and be good to go for streaming. And the second troubleshooting step is obviously if your PS Vita is not popping up at all for like file transfer or anything like that, then you don't have a data transfer cable, and you have to pretty much go out and purchase a data transfer cable, unfortunately. And for the 1000 model, those can be pretty hard to find, not even gonna lie. But now I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the PSTV. So for the PSTV method, first of all, if you are the proud owner of a PSTV or a PS Vita TV, congratulations. Those are extremely hard to find now. And if you do find one, it's probably going to be a little over $150 to probably $200 to $300 to $400, depending on which one you're actually buying and what comes with it. So if you do actually own a PSTV or a PS Vita TV, congratulations. So the first thing you're going to want to install is OBS, and after that, that's pretty much the only thing you need to download, because the thing about streaming from a PlayStation TV or a PlayStation Vita TV is you don't really have to have it on custom firmware. You can actually just immediately start streaming from it. So once you have OBS, that's the only program you need. Unfortunately, however, the PSTV and the PS Vita TV has something called HD copyright protection, or HDCP. So if you were to plug your PSTV inside of a TV, it'll work just fine. However, if you were to plug it inside of a capture device or capturing device, it will actually not pop up with anything because of that HDCP. So what you have to go out and find is a HDMI splitter. This is not to be confused with an HDMI selector, by the way, because an HDMI selector has a whole bunch of inputs and only maybe a one output. An HDMI splitter, however, has one input and it has two outputs. And this will actually just basically remove the HD copyright protection because there's two separate outputs happening. The only thing about the PSTV though is if you have to find a HDMI splitter that supports 1.4 HD copyright protection specifically. If you have one that has like multi-support or for multiple levels of HD copyright protection, then you're pretty much good to go after that. But all you would have to do is just plug in your PS Vita into the input and then plug the output into the capturing device. So sometimes you don't necessarily need 3 HDMI cables, but if you are using it to play on the TV and play on the computer, then you do need 3 HDMI cables. If not, then you just need 2 HDMI cables. Another thing is you need some kind of capture card. If you have a good graphics card that has a good capturing program on it, then you're pretty much good to go. If not, most cases you will have to get a capture card. So a couple things that I'm going to recommend. If you do have a PC with a motherboard and everything, I'm just going to show you the capture card that I'm currently using. So I'm just using the Live Gamer 4K. Honestly overpowered for what you're capturing, which is the PSTVs, but it's just what I use. If you want something more portable, I would go with the Live Gamer Bolt. And another option is Elgato products. Like the one that I strictly recommend because I used to use the crap out of it is the Elgato HD60S. A little pricey in my book, but it's actually on sale. It's like $37 off. It's only $142, and I'm saying only $142, like it's not much, but it's a lot of money. It's almost $150. The second option, which I don't recommend because you honestly don't, unless you're a streamer and you want to stream like more games like the Xbox One X and the Series X and all the newer ones, I strongly recommend this one because it has 4K support. The other one, the HD60S, doesn't have 4K support. It's just 1080p, which is honestly all you need if you're just streaming the PS4, PSTV, and all that stuff. That's all you really need. If you want the extra 4K capabilities for all the newer systems, then go ahead and get the HD60S Plus. But that's pretty much the price point of it. It's not so pretty, to be honest. But after you get all of that, after you've set up your PSTV, plugged in the HDMI cords, downloaded the OBS software and all that, you are good to go after that. So once the PSTV is booted on and everything's hooked up, all you have to do is go into OBS. And that's the PS Vita right there. But if I were to, where is that? I'm going to go ahead and remove this one. I'm going to go ahead and go to add scene. I'm just going to leave it as scene 5. Then I'm going to add a source. So this one will always be video capture device, but in some cases, again, it could be game capture. But I'm going to go ahead and go to video capture device. I'm going to leave it as is. And then this, whatever your capture device is called, is going to show up. I have the Avier Media 4K. So it's going to pop up as that, and then I'm just going to press OK. So as you can see, this is the PS Vita right here. The only plus side is you can actually record the audio. As you can see down here, all the audio output is showing up and everything. I'm actually going to do a test video just to show y'all, that the audio is good. So the pros of basically doing this through the PSTV is you have full audio and video capability. So whatever you wanted to record, whether it's settings, whether it's anything, it'll perfectly record it with the audio and video and everything. Another little added bonus is if you're using a PS4 controller, you can actually touch the touchscreen, and it'll actually like emulate you like pointing at something. The little red finger is for the back touch support, by the way. That's the workaround for the touchscreen games, but obviously this is kind of hard to use. But for demonstration purposes like tutorials and everything, if you wanted to just show something with the pointer, this is actually extremely beneficial for you. And obviously the biggest cons is actually finding a PSTV. Those are very hard to get. The price points of everything, all this stuff is not cheap. It's very expensive. Basically costs as much as a PS5, almost the scalper price. If you wanted to actually start live streaming and recording gameplay and all that other stuff. But for demonstration purposes, if you wanted to know how to do stream and record gameplay and stuff from your PS Vita or PSTV, this is why I did that video. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, but I'm also going to end it with a little demo of the PSTV being captured, so you can hear the audio quality and everything.